Okay, and it is done with the help of the compiler. So compiler basically take the source code and convert it to the corresponding object code. Okay, the compiler checks the source code for the syntactical and the structural errors. Means in the code, if you have some syntax error, okay, suppose you have not given any semicolon in some places, you are not given, suppose you have written suppose some syntax like get ch, but you have written get c only, not h. That will be an error. You have given, suppose you written suppose print only, not the printf. That will be an error. Okay. So these types of errors will be detected and will be reported to the computer programmer. Also, structural error may be there. Suppose you are going to scan something and writing scanf there, scanf then percent d, but you are not giving, suppose your suppose you are going to take percent in float value and you are giving suppose percentage d over there. Okay, or in the structure, suppose you have written scanf first then printf. Okay, suppose you are going to print something and then you are going to take the input. So first of all you have to write that enter the value of n, and then you have to write scanf. But if you are doing the scanf first and printf later, that will be a problem. Okay, so syntactical and structural errors are there. If it is present in the code, then that error will be reported to the computer programmer by the compiler, and that is done by the in the phase called the compilation phase. So while running a program, you have the four softwares, that is the four system softwares. That is, one is the preprocessor. So I told you that before going to the compilation phase, means before going to run from the main function, the preprocessor is present that will include the header files in your program. So therefore we write hash include, then your std_h. So hash is telling that you have to give, or you have to take this program, this header file in your program. That is the hash means preprocessor directive. Okay, this preprocessor is called there to include the header file in your program. Okay, compiler is there. Compiler is required when you have finished writing the program. Now you are going to call the compiler to compile your code and give you the object code. Then you have the assembler. This assembler will execute the assembly code and will give you the machine code. Finally, you have the linker that will link the object code with the libraries, and finally you will get the executable code. Okay, so these are discussed here. What is the function of preprocessor, what is the function of compiler, what is the function of assembler, and what is the function of linker. All are explained here. I will give these to you. I will give these notes to you. You can study from here also. Next thing is printf. Scanf is known to you because I told you while running a program or while writing a program, the definition of printf is stored in the header file std_h, and the definition of scanf is also present in the std_h. And while printing something, you have to write format string and then comma, then argument list. So you know that format string can be of type %d, %c, %s, %f, like this. Okay, means that if your value is integer, then you have to represent by using %d. If it is character, you have to represent by %c. If it is string, then you have to represent by %s. And if it is float, then you have to write %f. Or if it is long integer, you have to write %ld. If it is double, then you have to write %lf. So these are the different format string, and the argument list is there that will be the variable name that you want to print. Okay. Scanf also, scanf, so printf is going to print something, some values, and scanf is going to print some, scanf is going to take input some data. Okay, so that data may be either integer or float or character or string, anything. That will also be determined by the format string. Okay, and they have shown the example here. So this is already discussed in the programming part, so I am not going to the detail. Variable also, variable means that every variable is stored in a memory location, in the physical memory, and it is used to store data. So variable is used to store some data, like you are writing suppose int a or float b or char c. So you have suppose created 3 variables of different types. Now a can take only integer, b can take only float value with the decimal values, and c can take only the character. Okay, and you can change the value of the variable. Suppose initially you have kept a equal to 5, next time you can keep a equal to 6 or a equal to 7. So you can change the value of a particular variable. But if it is a constant, then you cannot change its value. Okay, so this variable can be reused many times. You can use a variable for a particular task. The same variable can be used for some other task also. Okay, so there is no bound of using a variable for single time, 2 times, 3 times. This is not. Okay, you may use this variable for multiple times or many times. Okay, so these things are discussed also here. How to define variable. If you want to define variable, then you have to take the help of the alphabets, digits, and underscore only. Okay, these are allowed: alphabet, digit, and underscore. So what are the alphabet here? From capital A to capital Z, small a to small z. And digit means from 0 to 9. Underscore means underscore symbol is there. Okay. And remember that whenever you are going to declare a variable name, okay, then it is mandatory to have the number will be coming later. So this is valid declaration, int a, because this is only having one letter or one alphabet. This is fine. You may write underscore, then some letters. This is accepted. You may write letter, then number. This is accepted. But if you write int, then one integer, it is not accepted. It is invalid, because you cannot take an integer as a variable name. Also, you cannot give space in between two variables. If you give comma here, then it is fine. If you write int a comma b, then a is the integer, b is another integer. But if you write int a, then space b, then that will not be meaningful. Either you have to write underscore here, or you have to write a, b together. But if you write space in between them, then that is not accepted. Okay. You cannot write a particular keyword that is present, that is the reserve value, reserve keyword. Okay, like your long, float, void, main, etc. These types of names are already there in the library. Okay, break is there, continue is there. So these names, these keywords are already present in the library, C library. You cannot take any reserve keyword or reserve word for your variable as your variable name. Okay, and this is not allowed. Okay, now how many types of variables are there? See that first of all we have the concept of the local variable. Local variable means if you can declare a variable inside a particular function. So instead of writing the variable name outside the function, if you write in the inside function, means another function. Suppose in the void main you are writing something, some variable names, that will be local to the main function. But if you are going to call another function, suppose function 1, from this main function and you are declaring some variable in function 1, then there is no access to that particular variable which is declared in function 1 from the main function. Main function cannot access a variable that is declared